What's up? Hope everybody's doing good in there. Yeah, I'm kind of curious here what's going on here real quick. I'm not sure if bad internet connection could be the song. I don't know. Sometimes they start blocking my stuff like right off the bat. So I'm gonna check something real quick. So hang in here with me just for a second, okay? I'm gonna check and see if they sent me a notification. Sometimes that happens. If they did, I may restart the stream. It doesn't look like anything's going on there, so hopefully we're all right. But just wanted to double check that real quick. So yeah. Okay, guys. So we're just gonna go ahead and keep on moving. There's a lot of stuff going on anyway. There's a lot of stuff in the world going on. Hopefully everybody's getting their notifications and such. So we'll get going here. Yeah. So the Schumann, yeah, you see it. Not much going on there again. But it is what it is. So, hey Julie, what's up? Major B's in the house. Gala. Okay. I'm going to do the space weather report. Then I got something I kind of want to talk about again. I didn't think I was going to have to talk about it again, but yeah, I'm not feeling something here. We're gonna talk about it. But anyway, as far as X-ray flux, we don't have any flares going on whatsoever. We have a blank disk again. What does that mean? I put that in my title. A blank disk means we have no sunspots facing Earth. And that's going to happen from time to time, especially early on in the sun cycle. But, we had 6 of them like just a few days ago. So that tells you how things can quickly change on the sun. And I have to also put in there that you don't have to have a sunspot to have a CME or even flares. Okay, flares, CME, filament releases, all that stuff can happen outside of sunspots. They don't have to be visible or there for us to look at. They can just pop up real quick, do their thing, and go away. I've seen that. Most of you guys probably have also. So what did my thumbnail mean? CME might be pregnant. Well, it's late. So that's why I put it. I was just trying to be a little creative with the title there. It is late. They were expecting a 4 on the KP here, back here on this bar, this 3-hour time bar, and it didn't get there. So I don't know what's going on, but I was just going through some other tools right before I came online, and it does look like we're starting to get hit with some geomagnetic activity. Okay, like right now. So it could be impact. It could just be a few hours late of their forecast. And again, remember, guys, you got a built-in plus or minus 7 hours anyway. It could be 7 hours early or 7 hours late. That's kind of the forecasting buffer they give themselves. So I just wanted to point that out. I do still think we're going to have some geomagnetic activity. Now, whether or not we get to G1 or G2, that's to be seen. So anyway, first look at your sun here. What do you guys see? Whole lot of nothing but, let me point this out. Coronal hole, coronal hole, coronal hole, coronal hole. Quite a few coronal holes. Now, a lot of these were there last week. Not in the same spots, obviously. But a lot of these were there. We just weren't paying much attention to them because they were kind of getting drowned out by the sunspots. Because we don't always, really dig deep and look at it. Our eyes will get drawn to one thing, and that's what we tend to talk about. I'm guilty of that myself. I try not to do that, but you can see all the coronal holes. Now, remember what I said about a coronal hole. We can very easily get into geomagnetic storms with just those. That happens all the time. So, just wanted to say that. Now, again, look, this is the visible light. There are absolutely no sunspots facing Earth right now. It's completely blank. This is what we would expect, like a year ago, but extended periods of time. So now it's these periods of no sunspots facing Earth are going to really start shrinking down to the point where we don't really even have a day throughout the whole year without some sort of a sunspot. At the peak of a solar cycle, typically that's what's going on. So, hey Ricky, what's up? Hey John, what's happening, man? What's up, Bob? Jacqueline? Jaquel, I guess. Oops. Didn't mean to do that. But, okay. So, here's their predictive model. Now, notice here, they haven't changed this. So, whether or not they're just not changing it right now, updating it right now to newer data, or the stuff is just very similar and the forecasting here holds. So we'll just have to wait and see. Again, we are right here in time. See where that bar is? Well, actually, we're even here. Okay? So they haven't updated this spiral in a few days. Sometimes that happens just to see what it is, but, is what it is. Not much we can do about that stuff. Doesn't mean anything crazy is going on. It just means they just simply haven't updated the model. That's it. There's a whole lot of reasons that can happen. So, here's our auroras. I do see a little uptick happening right now with these, and that's what I'm saying. We're starting to see observations of more geomagnetic activity, like right now. So, see how it's like almost not there, and then all of a sudden, right now, see how it's starting to grow, like right now? So, yeah. Another place where that's pretty evident is this. This is our geoelectric field model, and this is space weather's effect on our electrical grid. That's what this is trying to show you. It's a fairly new model. This is three-dimensional. We're not going to really pay much attention to that one because they're still working on this one. But as we move across here, you can watch what happens at the end of this time lapse. Okay? You see that little blast right there? Right about, well, I guess I don't have to be so exact, but we'll get it there. Right there. Okay? See how it's just kind of down here? Now, if we go forward in time, see how we're kind of blowing back off? But then, right there. Okay? So, that's definitely geomagnetic activity hitting. Alright? So, what time was that when that happened? That was at 2 a.m., just not too long ago. Okay? That's the dark side of the planet. It's dark here. So, I'm wondering what's happening on the other side of the planet if we're getting geomagnetic hits right here on the dark side. So, I'm curious because if you watch this, it's staying the same. That, unless it's not, yeah, it stopped right after that. You see that? Wow. Oh, okay, look, they've updated it. Sure thing. Look at that. That's definite geomagnetic activity, guys. Okay? So, whether or not, now see the model stopped there again too. You seeing this? Right here? Watch what it stops. It gets stuck on that last one. See that? So, and this is not the only model having problems over here on Space Weather Prediction Center. So let me take you over here to the Discover data. It stopped right there. It hasn't updated since 4 o'clock. So, not sure if this is a NOAA issue or what, but you see how these all dove off right before this went down? It makes me wonder if we started getting hit with geomagnetic activity. I don't really know, so I'm not going to try to even dig into why that's happening because I don't want to put something out there that isn't really what's going on. So I'm going to stop talking about that. But these models are having problems, at least over here on NOAA. Now we can go look at the NASA model real quick, and it probably hasn't done anything. It doesn't really update too much anyway, unless there's a big CME. And yeah, it hasn't updated since the last time I showed it to you guys, because there hasn't been any action. So I'll just leave it at that. but I do want to go over this, the data here again. Look how it dropped off. Everything dropped off. So I'm just wondering if it started to feel some of that geomagnetic activity. But I'm not sure. I'm just not sure. I'm just going to stop talking on that end because I don't want to be completely way wrong on that. So thank you, lower class. I appreciate you. I really do. I appreciate that. We're going to talk a little bit about that at the end of the space weather report anyway. Because I got something I got to get it off my chest because it's really bothering me, and I can't hold on to this stuff anymore like that. It's eating me up. So just hang in to the end of the stream, and I'll let you know right after the space weather report what's going on there. But here again, guys, there's really no sense in me even running these models because you're not going to see nothing. There's absolutely nothing going on the sun right now. I just looked at these. I welcome everybody to please go over and look at these models themselves. Okay, so please do that. SDO. This is SDO. Everything I show you guys, like I said, if you guys want to know how to get to these links, so I could put them all in my description, but it's as simple as this. I probably will start including all those links in my description, but if you go over here to NOAA Space Weather Prediction Center, okay, and you just go down to the bottom, all the way to the bottom, products and data. Okay, these are forecast models, these are reports, and here's the models. A lot of the stuff that I show you, almost all of it, is right here. Okay? Don't be afraid to come over here and start clicking buttons. You can't screw it up. So, you see what I'm getting at here, guys? Don't be afraid to go mess around with this. If you don't understand what the tool's trying to show you, you can actually do this. Let's just go to, we'll go over here to this one. You scroll down to the bottom, it'll give you definitions of what it's trying to show you. Okay, you can do impacts, you can do details. Now, history, data, all the above. Now, and after you read that and you still don't understand, then please ask me a question. I'll try to answer it the best I can. I try to get it right as far as what we're actually looking at. Now, I'm not going to go into theories and things like that. I will just show you what this tool is showing you. That's it. Everybody can make up their own mind what they think is causing it. But I do want people to understand how to read these things. That's what's important. That's the reason why they're there. Our tax dollars pay for a lot of this stuff, and that's why we have access to it at all. That's the whole reason. So, I'll tell you what we will do right now before we get into let's go over here to USGS real quick. Now, a lot of people have picked up the Canary Island story. I have to say, guys, nothing is popping off over here. We haven't been seeing any kind of bigger earthquake trembles or anything like that I can see. Okay? And again, I'm not the earthquake guy. Well, Ricky's right here in the chat. So, she watches that stuff just as much as anybody else. Go to Ron, you can go to Terry, you can go to Dutch, you can go to whoever you want. A lot of people, regardless of the method of which they are predicting these things, the majority of them are actually getting pretty good at it. Okay? So you almost can't go wrong, I guess, at the end of the day. I don't know where I stand with all this as far as me trying to show you guys earthquake stuff, because I don't want to get it wrong. And that's why I'm trying to, just show you guys the observation. But as far as the Canary Island stuff, there's nothing going on over here. Now, yes, they're under some sort of a volcanic watch and all those kinds of things, so it could. Now, if it does blow off and there's a big deal, obviously we're going to come out here and talk about it. That's not what I'm saying, and I already talked about this already. Just to let everybody know that that's actually what's going on. They got official watches out on this volcano and stuff over here. Okay, so it's not something we should ignore. I'm not saying that at all. But yeah. Oh man. So now, what I'm going to do here is go back here to spaceweather.com. A couple cool little articles over here that they did again today. What I didn't even read this top one yet. Okay, well, they're kind of saying the same thing. It says it will either miss or deliver a glancing blow, the CME. Okay? Both outcomes are equally possible given uncertainties in the CME trajectory. And that's what they're writing over here. Okay? You guys can see that. You guys can. I encourage, even after I show you guys this, please go give them some love. And we're going to talk about this again real quick here after I show you what this is. But you got this rocket they set up. And I guess it had 4 civilians on it. This is big news. I mean, I get it. And it's pretty cool stuff. You can go look at that. I definitely would go over there and check this out. Obviously, if you didn't know something was getting fired off into space and you stepped outside and seen that, you might be changing your underwear. That's all I'm saying. But here's some more Steve's caught. We talked about this yesterday. If you guys want to know what a Steve is, just either come over here and look at it or go back to my previous video and I explain what these things are. But this one was caught by Marcus Verte. He's in Tromsø, Norway. I believe that's how you say that. Who knows if the dialect there I just used is correct. Probably not coming from my hillbilly mouth. But, yeah. So you got, that's from Norway. Marcus Verte is the one that took that capture. And it's awesome. Right? So, we'll go down here to, knock loose at clouds. Nothing there. Not even going to talk about that right now. Fireballs 18. That's normal for what we usually see. It really has to get to like 100 or more before I even start really looking at that real close. Okay? And typically when they get to that amount, we're in a meteor shower from a known comet that passed and left debris. And we go through those debris tails every year at the same time. So we know when this number is going to increase for the most part. Now, if it starts increasing outside of what we think is going to happen, that's when we have discussions about this. Okay, it's not when we see normal numbers and we go blow it out of proportion. That's my whole point. So what is normal? That's what you have to know. Well, I don't know that there is actually what we would call a quote-unquote normal number of fireballs. Okay, because let's face it, 3/4 of the planet's water, right? 70% of the planet's water, roughly thereof. So, when you all live on land, right? So, I mean, you got to understand that some of that stuff is just not easy to catch. And they got the all Skycam network around the globe that they use, and they see fireballs and stuff. That was one of its main missions. So, not to look at whatever's up there, it's to catch fireballs. Because, frankly, if they're going to look at something up there, and they're trying to see stuff or whatever, they wouldn't have used like a fisheye lens. That causes so many different optical effects on them things that it's hard to lend any validity to a whole lot of those captures. It's hard to really I guess what I'm saying is it's hard to suss out what you're actually looking at. It gets really difficult. So and the reason why is that those cameras weren't put there to do that. Those cameras were put there to see fireballs. And that was one of their main missions. That's why they're there. So they see a fireball shooting across the sky that gets logged in. That was what it's for. It wasn't to be all technical and very precise and very high resolution and all that. So we got to understand that when we're talking about that stuff. So if we go down here to the near Earth objects again today, down through here we have 1.8, which is about 3/4 of the way the distance between us and the moon. A lunar distance is about 238,000 miles roughly. So inside of that, now when I say that passed closer to us than the moon, I'm not saying it actually flew between us and the moon. What I'm saying is that's the distance it was when it passed Earth. I don't know its location. Okay? So, yeah, I wanted to clarify that because people get that wrong sometimes. Now look at this small one, okay? It's a 6, right? So I don't think that one was there until like yesterday. Well, that's because it's a 6. Now, again, I already reported on the Jupiter thing. And when you guys go look at that data, please be conscious of the fact that when you see the actual object, the flash, that's only 2 seconds. And then it's gone. You don't see it anymore. Okay? So when you see that happening on that video and stuff that was being shown and shared, that's what I would say, right? But, so back to that. I'm going to, that's the space weather report, guys, by the way. So if you're here for that and you want to bolt out, thanks for stopping in. I appreciate you. But I do have some stuff here I want to go over, okay? And frankly, I don't like doing this, but I'm just to be honest with you, I'm pretty upset. I don't get like this often, and this is what tells me that I don't need to be going and looking at other people's channels. Because, or at least the people that I know that I don't think do the right thing. But when I get emails, I feel obligated to go look, right? Whether they just ask me a question if this is correct, or whether they just say, hey, did you check this out? And send me a link or whatever. So I go over there and I look, even though I know where I'm going isn't the best place, right? I know that. But today, I get it, I'm not going to go into how I came about this video or whatever, went to this channel. But yeah, this is what happened. I'll just run it down for you real quick. I'm going to take this back to like the 16th, I think, is when that was. Nope, still the same. Let's go back to the 15th and view. Okay, so I want to ask you guys a question. Spit it out. I'm getting there. Cortez, we'll get it. So, what I'm saying, guys, you tell me to spit it out, but I'm trying to do it the nicest way possible. So, I don't know what to tell you, man. But what I will say, guys, when I show you guys something, I try my best to give enough exposure to where I got the information from. Oh, it's okay. I'm not mad at you, Cortez. I'm not. I'm really not. That didn't bother me too much. I'm good. But just with this right here, this is really what, and I seen this, and I kind of pointed out something similar the other day. Okay? And I have to say, this happened on that same channel. Okay? And you guys know I don't throw names or nothing out there, because that's not really my point. My point is, if you see what I'm getting ready to show you on any channel, I don't care who it is, please be cautious of what you're listening to. Okay? Because I'm going to show you the direct way people do things in a specific way to try to give themselves credibility where they have none. And when people that do this, like what I do here with my channel, most people would miss what I'm getting ready to show you. I only notice it because I try to do the right thing and give credit where credit's due. And I don't try to take somebody else's knowledge and put it out there like it was my own. Okay? So if I don't do the work for something, I'm not going to come out here and claim that I did. Or, when you don't say something about something you see, like say I seen, it's like when you were a kid or whatever, and somebody lied or whatever, and you didn't go tell that, that, hey, that person lied. Well, you're just as much at fault if something bad happened because of that lie, right? Because you didn't speak up and say, hey, that's a lie. That kind of thing, right? Yeah, integrity. Exactly, Tab. So what I'm saying here, guys, and again, I'm not going to say names of channels because that's not my goal. If you see it across the net, whatever, just run away from it. Or if you're going to sit there and listen to stuff like that, please understand that you need to be cautious. So what I'm saying here is I went over and watched this video. Now, you see where I got you right here. When I show you guys spaceweather.com, this is exactly what I do. The first thing I do is I show you where I'm getting my information from. Right? Well, I clicked on this video and let me show you what I've seen. Okay, this is pretty close to what I've seen. Just a second. Let me check something real quick. Let's pull it over there. And we'll go up a little bit. Okay, so it kind of looked like that, right? So they start talking about this, right? They never once scrolled up, scrolled down. They gave credit to the person that took the photograph. They said their name like one time, and yes, they left the link to spaceweather.com in their description box. But this is what happened. They never once mentioned they got this information from spaceweather.com. That didn't ever came out of their mouth. And then this is what really bothered me. Okay? So let me back this off. They left that picture right there, and then you know what they did? They read this thing word for word. Now, if I'm going to read it to you, it's going to be there. The text is going to be there so you know that I did not do the research on this myself. I didn't do the work to get this information. People take this website. He wrote this article. So what gives that person the right to just read this thing with this picture and all this other stuff out of there just to capture? Acting like he's the one, or this channel's the one, that actually read that. That said exactly what a Steve was. I promise you, I'm not kidding. I promise you, if you were to shut that website on there and ask this person what a Steve is, they would trip all over themselves. They wouldn't know. So, this is what I'm talking about, guys. That is intentional. It's different if you make a mistake. Way different. You guys know how I feel about that. But somebody actually had to crop out everything here except for this. And then read the article word for word. You guys know how much lack of integrity that actually holds? I just don't get it. I don't get why people do that. I understand it, don't get me wrong, but I don't get it. You know what I mean? And I know I'm ranting off here or whatever, but I can't help it. When it comes like this, and I know that some of you guys are watching that stuff. I know you are. And that's why I'm trying to show you guys at the end here that it doesn't have to be that way, is what I'm trying to say. And I'm not saying that you can't get good information from that channel or whatever. All I'm saying is there's no integrity there at all, whatsoever. It's the only thing, the saving grace is that because if this channel hadn't put this website link in the description, then yes, I would have to say immediately that's plagiarism. All right? But they did put that, and I'm not saying that they didn't, because I'm telling you right now, they did. I could have left that out just like they left out what this article was saying. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to be on one side or the other. I'm telling you exactly what happened. You can go see it for yourself if you guys know what I'm talking about. So, and it's just so, gosh, it's so frustrating. because I know what it takes to try to research out anything. And when somebody, this isn't even my work. So when somebody is like taking somebody else's work and like making it out there like it's theirs, I just don't get it. All that could simply be solved by this. Guess what? Don't crop out this picture. If you want to read this like I do often from this website, right? The text is there. You guys know where that came from. It came from spaceweather.com. It did not come from my mouth. I'm just simply repeating it because I think it's correct and I think it's good stuff. So, anyway, I'm not going to go into any more with that. I'm stopping that right now. So just know, if you guys send me something from this channel, if you guys know, and whoever's listening to me that did send this, okay, I'm not mad at that person at all. Just know that, okay? I'm not mad at anybody here. But anybody that knows what channel I'm talking about, if they send me stuff from this channel again, I will not look at it. Okay, it's got me upset and mad, and I'm not going to deal with it. I can't have my mind there, because it'll eat at me until I say something. You guys just don't understand how close I was to come out here and just put it out on blast. Who's doing this? I mean, I was real close. So, and again, please don't put people's channel names in the chat or whatever, trying to guess who it is. I can tell you right now, I'm ready to go right there. That was not the channel. I know, I'll say that. But I'm not going to comment on that anymore about the channel name. But please don't put channel names in there. It's not my purpose here, okay? My purpose is, if you guys see that kind of stuff happening, just be cautious. We're at whatever channel you see that on, okay? So please, and that's the only reason why I bring it up. I don't want other people to, because most people will miss that. All right. Now, if you listen real close to when they were reading this off, you can actually tell they're reading it. And what's even worse is they couldn't even read it correct. That makes it even worse. So I just don't get it, guys. I just don't get it. And, you know, if people like myself don't say at least what I just said, I just don't know what to do. I don't know how that stuff gets fixed. And again, guys, like I said, the reason I don't talk about stuff like this a whole lot anymore is because I seriously quit looking at those channels. I really did. I get sent stuff on the daily to go look at stuff, and I don't. And I always email them back and saying, hey, I'm sorry, I'm not going to go look at that, because it'll just get me in a frame of mind that I don't want to be in. And unfortunately, that's where this one got me. It got me there fairly quick because I just talked about this very similar thing. It's intentional. That's the problem I have with it. Intentional. Okay, so I'm done with that. Bob, you okay? What's going on, man? You all right? See people in there asking if you're okay. Okay, just make sure you're all right. Making sure everybody's all right. Oh, you know. So, yeah. Yeah, you're right, Linda. I just read your comment there. And I think that's what it is, guys. You know, her comment was they have to build themselves up because they are so insecure. And I think that, and it's like I said the other day, if somebody says something like this, trust me, guys, this is what it is. Trust me that a Steve is strong thermal emissions velocity crapper. Right? Because I said, trust me, I'm trying to get you to believe that that's actually what it says. But in reality, what it's saying is strong thermal emissions velocity enhancement. You see what I'm saying there? So when somebody is saying, trust me, trust me, trust me, trust me, they don't trust themselves. They don't. Or they're one of two things. They don't trust themselves, or they're just simply flat out lying to you, trying to hide something. That's what that is, guys. So be cautious of that. I'm pretty intuitive, and I've been like that since I was a kid. And I don't know why, but that's just me. But yeah. They don't determine your destiny, then I'll determine your worth. Why are you wasting my... I'm not wasting my breath. I hope you guys don't think I'm wasting my breath. And the reason I'm not wasting my breath is because I'm showing people that might not see this otherwise. That's why I don't think this is a waste of my breath. They may not notice that that's actually going on. That's why I'm pointing it out. Now, if I was out here screaming somebody's channel name, yeah, that might be wasting my breath because that's just an attack. I'm just trying to correct what's actually going on. That's all. On any channel. For people to see. And that's just what I'm saying. So yeah, I mean, I'm sorry you think I'm wasting my breath, but I don't. Yeah, okay. For sure, Recovery Channel, for sure. Can a CME fry Starlink? Yes, it could. It would have to be a big one, guys. Understand that the higher altitude you guys get. Yeah, I don't think Recovery Channel meant that. Okay, I might have took that a little different. So I'm sorry if I misunderstood what you were saying there. But yeah, so no, I don't think that's what Recovery Channel was saying, guys. So let me correct that first. But yes, I do think a CME, a strong enough one, could really. It's a known fact that CMEs and solar weather, space weather, all that stuff does affect satellite operations, especially like surface charging and stuff like that. It can get pretty bad on them. The higher altitude you are, in other words, the closer you get to space, the more geomagnetic activity will affect you. Okay, we see it a lot with like cosmic rays, because when a cosmic ray hits our atmosphere, it splits off into different particles, and it scatters. And we get concerned mostly with the muons. That's really what, because that's radiation. And it can make, high levels of that can make people sick. I mean, that's why we talk about it, right? So, but yes, big CMEs definitely can. That was one of the biggest things that I think they even talked about that quite a few times, Wolfie. About the dangers of that. So, and sometimes if you know much about satellites or anything like that, when geomagnetic activity, will hit them or what have you, sometimes it'll drop them in a different orbit and they got to reposition these things and everything like that. So it really can mess with the controls. It can mess with a whole lot of things. As far as blowing them up, like an explosion or something, I don't know if it can. Yeah, Efren, I haven't talked to Scott in a while. I tried to get a hold of him the other day, and he popped in the chat, and I didn't get it. I think I said hi to him, and then my stream went down like 5 minutes later, and I think he just got busy. The last I heard, he was doing okay. Last time we talked. He's still, obviously, I'm sure he's still struggling, because I know Dr. Albert's still sick, but yeah. I'm ready to go. Yeah, right on, man. Or woman. You're a woman, sorry. And I do that all the time. I'm sorry, guys. You guys buffering? Let's check. And again, guys, I am so sorry in a way that I had to come out here and talk about this like this. I don't like doing it. I don't. But when I see my audience and the people that I care about sending me stuff to my channel in my email, I can't not say something when I get more than one. And that's why. That's the only. I don't wish bad on anybody. All I want is for people just not to do that. And I want people that are doing that to know that people see right through it. Thanks, Gladys. Appreciate you. Missouri man. Oh, really? I didn't know that, Missouri man. Hey, that's good information. It says SATCOM has 4 redundancies. Basically, they're backups, guys. That's obviously we know what redundant is. It's kind of repeating the same thing. So I get he's saying that if one goes down, another one basically is there to take its place. What is it risk to CME as anything on Earth? Probably won't pop our sats out, but we'll look. Yeah, it's probably more so. Yeah. And like, I know that they really have to pay attention to surface charging, especially like when the astronauts are doing spacewalks and stuff like that. That really comes into play. So, and again, guys, I mean, I don't know that if something's going to take out the satellites, it's probably going to be big enough to where we're not going to have to worry about it. We're probably not even going to be able to know it. That's just, I mean, if it took out the whole satellite system like that, yeah, that's probably going to be the least of our worries. Just saying. Yeah, it's a big story right now. Yeah, it is, and a lot of people are picking up on that, the rock that hit Jupiter too. And that's why this really kind of bugged me a little bit, because similar things were done when the same channel was reporting on the Jupiter thing. Almost the exact same thing. Cropped out picture and everything. It was, yeah. I'm done talking about that. But yeah, the Jupiter thing is, I think it happens a lot more than what we think it does. It's just there happened to be somebody there this time to see it. That's pretty much what it amounts to. Yeah, during a big geomagnetic storm, ham radios are going to have issues for sure. GPS even. We're talking about uplink stuff there too. It becomes about how they get the data back here and all that kinds of things. It doesn't necessarily destroy the piece of equipment, but it more so knocks out the communications between the equipment and us. So that's really what the biggest thing is. Yeah, we all know about the CERN. Yeah. But one thing I'll say about that, the hydrogen colliders, that's not the only one on the planet, guys. There's quite a few of them. And they've been around for a while. Now, we all know about CERN because they made it a big deal when they first did it. Right? But there are so many of these things around the planet. And I'm not sure if there's a place, a hub, where we can go see where they're all located. I would think that has to be highly regulated because it can cause issues. Yeah. You do ham radio operator, Nita? You should go over to Tamitha Scove, her channel. She talks a lot. She's up on that as far as reporting on the space weather stuff that affects ham radios. She always talks about that in her reports. She actually teaches a class on how to teach how to get space weather to. She's trying to get space weather onto like local news weather forecasts, and so she does I think it's called Millersville University. She's a professor there, and she's doing these classes now, teaching people how to do space weather reports as if they're weather people, right? That's what she's been doing, and she's really, really, really successful at it. She knows what she's talking about when it comes to that stuff, guys. I've learned so much from her channel, it's ridiculous. If you want to know about sunspots and how a sunspot is formed, I've shown you guys her stuff before, and I'm telling you. Tamitha Scove. Hold on a minute. I'll take you there real quick. But again, I think she's got a doctorate in I'm not sure if it's called what her degree actually is. I'm not sure if it's like space weather. I'm not sure what the exact degree is called. And I'm sorry if she ever hears me saying this. I apologize if she hears this. I just don't know what to call it. Here we go. That's what she goes by, the Space Weather Woman. She's got a Patreon page too, guys, and she really does a lot for her Patreons. She does stuff all the time, and like personal reports, like updates and stuff. So you guys can see how she's standing up, kind of like a weather reporter would do, like a weather anchor at a news station. So there's her link, guys, in the comment or in the chat box there. I would highly encourage you guys to go over here. I mean, if you guys go over to like her playlist, she's got this. She does these courses. Look how long. I mean, they're like 3 hours. She'll stand out here and talk for 3 hours. It's like it's free college. Honestly, that's really what it is, in my opinion. But she brings it down to a level where you can understand it. And I think that's key for anybody trying to teach anybody anything. So, yeah, guys, go over here. I'll put her link in there again. I would check her out, guys. I really would. I think everybody can learn a lot from this channel and her. I just can't, like I said, I try to give credit where credit's due, and there it is, And she lets you know she's a real person, too. That's something you don't get usually from highly educated people. They tend to be a little bit disconnected that way, and she's not. And I think that's why she's successful. I really do. I think that's a lot of why. Half the battle is being able to communicate what you're trying to say, right? And if you can communicate it in a respectful way where people don't think you're talking down to them, you will definitely get a lot more people, Author May, why you gotta go there, man? I just don't get it, man. I really don't. I don't get it. But whatever. It's okay. Yeah. Just don't get it. I hadn't even talked about that yet tonight. I just don't get it. Yeah. That's done. But anyway. So. we've got. You guys got any questions for me? Yeah, lower class for sure. Cool. Cool, Joanne. Yeah, I think you guys can really learn a lot of. I mean, she knows so much more of the specifics. I try to pick up as much as I can from her, because she does know what she's talking about, guys. It's very obvious. Very obvious. And the fact that she takes the time to even put it out there on YouTube for free, it kind of blows my mind, just to be honest with you. So, really, Bob, I hadn't heard that story yet. That's interesting. Oh, update on the solar storm. Let's yeah, that's it. Like I said, I did that earlier, but I do want to do that for you guys again real quick. Let's go back here to spaceweather.com and see if stuff's upticking at all. It does look like that. See, you guys see this? So this could be the beginning of what could be coming here. All right. So we went from 0 to 1. Now we're up to 2. Now again, guys, this thing could give us a very slightly glancing blow, and we may not even know it. And that's, like I said yesterday, guys, I almost didn't even report on it because the uncertainty of it. But they were becoming more and more certain, and that's why I went ahead and talked about it. And so whether or not, again, guys, what are we going to see? We're going to see G1, maybe G2 at the highest, guys. I don't think we're going to get, we may get, I don't know. Depends on how it smacks us. But let me show you guys this too real quick. I'm trying to find it real quick. Give me a second. Global conveyor influence. Daggone it. Trying to find this. Sorry. Man, I just had that. I don't even know where it's at. That's stupid. Stereo data. Seismo, Seeds, SEO, Schumann. Is this it? Well, look, I don't know. Okay, this will work. This is just showing you what geomagnetic storm levels and what we can expect during those kinds of conditions. So you can, during a 1, migratory animals are affected at this, and higher levels. Aurora is commonly visible at high latitudes. Animals sense this a lot more than what we do, guys. And there are humans that are more sensitive to this too. So just so you know. But yeah, we start seeing our animals kind of act a little strange sometimes. They're not going to act too strange. Unless we're, like I said, if it's a big one, then obviously they're going to know it probably before we do. But yeah. So G2, high latitude, well, it says right here, G1, weak power grid fluctuations can occur. And again, the closer you get to the poles, the more intense it becomes. Because you can be at a G1, say at mid-latitudes where I'm at here in the Midwest. And then you could actually be at a G2 or a G3 closer to the North Pole. So, that's the difference there. Yeah, Gypsy, there's a good, and I usually show it around Christmas time every year. There's a good way to explain that to people. And, you got the reindeers at the poles where they're herding these reindeer, they will actually make this circle. They start running in circles. And then a few years ago, they started running the opposite direction because the geomagnetism was getting kind of screwy with them, and they didn't know what direction they were moving. I usually show that every year around Christmas time because it's reindeer stuff. But that's a good way to see it, and it's very visible. You guys can Google that, by the way, and you can see that video. It's all over the place because it's, yeah. One year they were going, I think, clockwise. I think was their, I don't know. It just depends on what pole they were at, what direction they would be trying to run. But that's how a lot of the animals migrate. They can sense magnetic north and south, I would think. At least north if you're up here, south if you're in the south. So, they got to know when to go towards warmer climate. That's why they have that ability. Most of them, anyway. Yes, and I've seen a report, guys. I think they had a big beaching of dolphins. I need to go look for that article. Magnetics can affect that too, guys. Just so you know. Guys, we got to understand magnetics affect everything we do. Okay? I mean, that's just the truth of it. Why do we call it geomagnetic storm? Why do we care about that? Well, it's because it's magnetic. A lot of you, I don't want to stereotype here, but some of the guys in here might know what a linear motor is. That's a magnet motor that doesn't have moving parts in it. It's called a linear motor, and it propels things one direction and does it rather well. Tesla did a lot of work with those kinds of things. If you guys want to know anything about anything cool with electric, anything, magnetics, that kind of stuff, go look up Tesla. Yeah, free energy for sure, Tab. I'm actually working on you guys know what steampunk is, right? That genre of you're integrating technology with the older look of the Old West. So I'm working on it's a steampunk lamp that's operated off of magnets. So it doesn't take any energy at all. You don't have to plug it in. It's free energy. You don't have to charge it or anything like that. It has a switch on it and everything. You just got to be able to break that magnetic connection to turn it on or off. And you guys can look that up on the internet too. It's there. You guys can go build them yourself. It's interesting stuff. Look up linear motor. Look up any of that kind of stuff. Or a Tesla motor too. Tesla coil. When you start adding electricity to magnetism, that's when it gets really cool. You guys have seen those toys or that you sit on your end table, and you can set something on there and it hovers, it levitates. That's what they're doing. They're using magnets. That's a magnet thing. And if you understand magnets at all, you want that space at the bottom. You got to have that open space for it to be hovering. And believe it or not, the weight of that matters too. And it's reverse of what you would think. You put more weight on the top, guess what? It pushes harder against that magnet on the bottom, and it will raise itself up. You take weight off, it actually starts to drop and close that gap. It's amazing stuff. It just it's more powerful than the effects of gravity on it, is what I'm trying to say. And if you can incorporate gravity and magnetism together, wow. Do a lot of stuff with that, guys. But yeah. Yeah, I mean, Tesla was a brilliant man. I don't think anybody can question that. But if you guys want to know what a G5 storm can do, widespread voltage control problems, transformers may experience damage, and then you get up past the KP of 9, you're talking about G5 infinity, right? I think they said the Carrington event was like a G5 with a KP number of like 49. Not KP number, but an X flare 49. It, yeah, it's a big one. So, when the chart stops at like 9 or 10, like you got a like an X class flare, you can get up like an M class flare stops at 10, right? Then it goes to X. Well, X class flares don't stop at 10. They continue on up for infinity, depending on how big something is. So yeah, you can imagine. But remember, we've had events since then too. Okay, so that's why I always tell you guys, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. It will happen. Yeah, steampunk's awesome, isn't it, Kiwi? So yeah, but there's a lot of good stuff out there, guys. You just gotta go look at it. And what year was that Carrington event? 1859. That was really a big deal for space weather because that was the moment that Dr. Carrington, he's the one that discovered. Well, he did the research there and had the pictures where you could tell the difference between a flare and a CME. Before that, they thought it was all one thing. They just called it a flare. So once they figured out that, that was two separate things, because he's seen the flare in his telescope, and yes, the X-ray increased or what have you, but then we got hit like a day later with the plasma. So that kind of like clicked in his head and all that kind of stuff, I guess. And I'm guessing that's kind of how it happened. But it got really, really researched after that, and that's why we know that there's a difference. And, then you could even take it down into filaments releasing, right? Because that's different than a flare or a CME. Vehicle computer damage. Jitsi, that, when we're talking about stuff like that, we got to understand if it's going to be that powerful to do that or knock out our grid or whatever, you're not going to be able to protect much of anything, guys. Not unless it's like completely inside of a Faraday cage. How do you test the Faraday cage? Just so you guys know, a really good way to test the Faraday cage is to put your cell phone in it and call your cell phone. And if it starts to ring, that Faraday cage does not work. So, but yeah, so you guys got any other questions? And I know, I do appreciate the discourse over here, guys. The good conversation. It's staying pretty respectful over here. I get that there's stuff talking about CERN, and there's a lot of different viewpoints on that. And I'm just glad you guys can talk about it and be respectful, I do appreciate that, by the way. It's a hard thing, my moderator's got a hard job. I think I talked about that yesterday. They most certainly have a hard job. So, just saying. Depends on what kind of vehicle it is, Virginia. If that was something that big. I can't remember what year of vehicle that you can get any from that year back. That they're just not using the computers to do the work of the car. You can get mechanical stuff that doesn't, the older cars didn't have all those components. So, yep, it's okay for sure. Yeah, it's an interesting thing. You guys buffering? Guess I could cut off some of this stuff real quick. But yeah, guys. Is it 8? I think it's actually older than that, Dillard. I think it's like back in the 60s. Is it pre-1970 vehicles? Yeah, I knew it was something like that, you know. And again, guys, you know, when we're talking about stuff like this, it's a, you know, get to where you're comfortable with what you've got. That's what I tell everybody. You know, my boy Rip did a great video today on a water filtration thing that he got, and Rip Curl Readiness. You guys should go check him out. Matter of fact, I want to show you guys his channel real quick. He's just doing really good work over there, guys. He's back to making some videos now. He was sick, like in the hospital sick. So, oh, and speaking of that, Tommy over at the Lifeboat, guys, he's starting to feel a little bit better. So the prayers and stuff are working for him. Please keep him in your prayers, guys. But here's Rip's channel. He got himself a new puppy. You guys should go check out this video too. This little thing just found its voice. It's cracking me up. But he did this scrounging for preps. It's one of his series that he kind of does every week. He takes loose change, cans, and gets all that money together and buys prep stuff with it. So, let me throw his link here. Appreciate that. Appreciate that for sure. Sweet, sweet. Thanks, guys. I mean, Rip is a really good guy, guys. He's from his family and stuff is from Hawaii, but he lives out in Oregon, and he's just a really good guy. I mean, you guys can tell when people are good people, you know. And I don't have to tell you guys that. I know I do, but I don't have to tell you guys that. I can say nothing. I can say, hey, guys, go check this out. You guys go check it out, and you're going to come to the same conclusion. I just don't prescribe to hate. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people that do. I'm just not going to hate people. I just won't. Can't get me to do it, I just won't do it. I might not like some people. I might not like what people are doing, just like what I talked about earlier. But it doesn't mean I have to hate them. I don't support cancel culture. You guys know what that is? Cancel culture is where somebody does something to somebody else and they run over there and they try to bash them and do whatever they can to get people to unsubscribe from their channels and get them all shut down. I don't support that at all. Because unfortunately, those people that are doing those kinds of things, they got families too. What did their kids have to do with what they just did on the internet or in real life? You know what I mean? That stuff will get taken care of on its own. Either they become better people or eventually it'll come back and get them. We don't have to be the ones out there trying to just slam people. It doesn't have to be like that. That's all I'm saying. So, yeah. I know I've been ranting the past couple days. It's just, there's been a lot of stuff, guys. It really has. And that's, I try to show you guys observation. I try to point you guys to positive stuff. And, I'm pretty successful at it. And, because people do, they kind of come at me a little bit when I don't tell them my viewpoint on certain things. And the only one of the biggest reasons is I don't want to influence anybody in a way and get them to try really, really hard to believe how I believe, because I know that I can be wrong. I'm going to, put out there what I think is what's going on, but I'm not going to push people and be like, no, you can't come here because you don't believe how I believe, or no, you're out of here because you don't believe what I believe. My only chat rules is, like I said earlier, guys, what is it? We can't use vulgarity. We can't mention other channels' names in a negative way, like slamming them. And we can't attack each other personally. That's it. Anybody has like any mind thoughts and theories and stuff, they're welcome to talk about it here. I've always did that here. I've never been any different, and I won't change. That's not going to change. But sometimes that brings me a headache, and it brings my moderators headaches. So sorry, mods. Just saying. So, yeah, guys, so please go check out Rip here. I'm going to drop his link in here again. You guys really need to. But you know what I tell people? You prep up to the level that you're comfortable with and then go one step further. So, white? What is white? Oh, okay. Woke means you listen to mainstream media, internet pundits, and the uninformed. Yeah, I don't use that term, woke. That's just something I don't. I think that, you know, if you guys want my opinion on that, like I said before, you can find truth in almost everybody. You really can. So, you know, there's things that we've been taught that aren't true, but there's a buttload of stuff that we were taught that is true. And that's where the problem comes in, because we got to be able to accept what that truth is, no matter where it came from. You know? So, you know, I've been doing a lot of research on a specific subject here lately, and I haven't talked about it yet. But I purposely quit watching other people that were doing it, that were talking about the subject I'm researching, so I could go into it with a clear mind and not be influenced at all. I just dug into the information myself, for myself. So I had no preconceived anything. So when I looked at what I'm looking at, and I'm still looking at it, by the way, I come up to what I think is what's going on. Right? I hope people do that. Especially on big subjects. I really do. You know, and again, guys, you know, we can use whatever term, you know, woke or awakened or whatever terms we want to use there. And I'm not saying that any of those are bad. It's just, you know, for me, I just try to explain it just like I did. I try to get truth from wherever I can find it, and I think you can find truth just about everywhere. Now, it doesn't mean that somebody where you find some truth there that the rest of everything else that they're saying is wrong. I'm just saying that sometimes you can, you know, diamond in the rough type of stuff. It's like this, guys. I mean, I'm over here on my channel right now. Look, I'm going to scroll through here just real quick. Like, my subscription list is always, I don't hide my subscription list like a lot of other people do. But if you guys go over there and you look at this, you're probably going to find stuff to people that you didn't think I would be subscribed to. Why do I do that? Well, for the whole reason I just said. So there you go. Earth needs a C-section? Yeah, for sure. Hey, Axe, what's up? Skywalker, what's happening? Awakening, what's happening? Yep, very good. Always research and be prepared to not be right all the time. Learn and absorb. Very well said. Very well said. Much better than the way I said it. Thanks, Debbie. Well, if you're talking to me. Thanks, Debbie. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, guys. I mean, we got to be careful on a whole lot of things, you know. And that's what I'm saying. I try not to even get into those kinds of things anymore. But yeah, exactly, Tab. And we're all on a different time frame too on what we think is and what's going on in our own personal lives, right? I mean, isn't that how it works? So, you know, that is what it is. But guys, I am going to go ahead and pop off here. Been on here for an hour and 20 minutes again. Probably way too long for a lot of people. But that is what it is. Please go over and subscribe to the Lifeboat. Go check out Mark Pires, Renaissance Man. And check out Rip and everybody else, guys. I wish I could say everybody's name all the time. I really do. I really do wish I could. I just can't. Verte's in here. He's got a channel. Axe. Check out Axe. They're playing video games and doing some good music over there. It's pretty cool. And, you know, a lot of my moderators have channels. So, Matthew Shipley, that's a new channel I just came across. You're welcome, Yvonne. Go check him out. If you guys just want, like, to look at the data, he doesn't talk or anything. He just shows you, like, the websites. And he keeps that site up running 24 hours a day. So you can go there at any time and look at it. Yeah. Hey, Julie. You're right, Julie. Exactly. So you guys say it way better than I did. I appreciate that. Oh, that's all right, Skywalker. You're good. You got a channel? I don't know. Sure. You got a channel? Makes you uncomfortable. Hey, you know what? You're not the only one. Okay, just so everybody knows. Sometimes when you give somebody attention, guys, it makes them pretty uncomfortable. Oh, you don't? Okay. So, you know, he just asked you not to shout him out. So I'll remember that. I really will. I respect that. Because I know it does make people uncomfortable sometimes. Don't be afraid to tell me that, guys. That's right. Go check out Axe and them. It's funny. You guys crack me up. You and Nacho kill me sometimes. There you go. Thanks, Skywalker. Well, yeah. Thank you, though. Hey, Keith. What's up? We're ending the stream, man. Sorry. Getting ready to get off here, so been on for a minute, so. But anyway, guys, I am going to go ahead and cut out of here. I'll probably try to give you guys an update if we do get into storm levels. I might pop back on just to give you a quick one. So, you love the attention? Yeah. That's all right, Keith. But prayers for everybody, Tommy and everybody else. Like I said, Tommy's over at the Lifeboat. He is starting to get better, but still needs those prayers. He was struggling there for a couple days, so. I think he's like day 6 or 7. So. Thanks, Debbie. I appreciate you. Yeah, you guys don't have to chat if you don't want. If you guys feel uncomfortable, I get it. But just understand that we do keep it real, and we do make sure that you feel comfortable. I'm not gonna allow anybody to attack anybody else here in my chat. Just know that. And I get it. If you don't want to talk, I get it too. There's sometimes I go to other people's channel and I don't want to chat because it takes, I just want to watch. That kind of thing sometimes. And if I go to another channel that, like, say I was to pop off right now and say, I don't know, maybe Rip's doing a live stream, right? And he's talking about something he thinks is really, really important and really wants everybody to hear. If I say hi or something in the chat, a lot of times that kind of distracts from what Rip is doing. And so I don't say stuff typically. Like, I don't just jump in there most of the time. And that's why. That's the whole reason. I'm over at Mark's channel all the time, almost every night. I just don't chat all the time. But anyway, guys, yep. So I am going to get off here, guys. God bless. Yahusha saves. You can drink this Kool-Aid.